Hello everyone, my name is CordyUp707, and today I am joined by the ever so awesome Ender Luigi Nightmare.
I'm not awesome. What are you talking about, boy?
Oh, you're awesome, dude.
Okay.
Some fabulous quality stuff, and just recently you reached 4,000 subscribers.
Which
Subscribers.
is weird.
So, yeah, I'd say it's pretty awesome. So today we have a very neat Cuphead crossover with Terror, because, who else? And Mr. Ender Luigi Nightmare here is going to help me with the voice acting. He is going to be doing the Devil, King Dice, and Horror. I will be doing the rest. This, just so everyone knows, this is going to take a long time. And obviously you can probably see that by looking at the watch timeline there. But I guarantee
and also
you...
the scroll bar right there.
Yeah. But I guarantee you this is going to be pretty fun, and I hope it will be for you guys, so...
It'll be the best story of all time.
Wow.
Wow, I exist.
Wow, you did a thing. Alright.
Wario does a thing. Okay.
She does a sneaky thing. Alright. Here we go. Chapter 1. Supervillain Stress. Terror is pacing the floor of the stronghold, a worried scowl on his face. His eyes are orange rather than the regular red, for Terror is not feeling normal. He is, in fact, nervous and panicked. They've got to be here sooner or later. This delay in action has made me a nervous wreck, Terror says worriedly. Sure has, boss. You've been pacing for at least 20 minutes without thinking of something to relieve yourself of this stress, Swampwater remarks. He is sitting on the floor in a place he won't get stepped on, scrolling through data on his computer. Swampwater, help me if you will. Tell me something I don't know, Terror says in frustration. Okay. I'll try to figure something out for you, Swampwater says. He starts going through a few files of what Terror has done in the past to chill out. You could stay right at home and go to the Bleeding Coast. I heard there's supposed to be a blood moon this week, Swampwater suggests. Terror nods his head. Yes, that could be an option, Terror considers. Another place you could go is that bathhouse for spirits, Swampwater continues. Bathe in some of those healing salts, if you know what I mean. Terror nods his head again, his pace slowing down a little bit. Any ideas coming to you before I continue? Swampwater asks. Terror stops pacing and looks at Swampwater with sparkling eyes. Swampwater smirks. He can always tell when his boss has got the idea of a lifetime. There is a casino, run by the devil that I remember, Terror says wondrously. And we are both very good fiends, and I haven't touched on Cuphead yet, so... Terror looks silently at Swampwater again with a look in his eyes he couldn't deny, full of stress and panic. Swampwater smiles at his boss. He needs this. Go for it, Swampwater encourages Terror. You deserve this. You need this. Go have fun for a change. Terror's eyes turn red. A confident smile spread across his face. So I shall, Terror says confidently. I'll just get my cloak of 1,000 dragon skins and I'll be off. All right, boss, Swampwater shouts back as Terror walks off. You go have fun. Terror strides confidently down the halls, a new fuel to his fire stoking him for the casino. Money isn't a problem for him. All he needs to do is shake his hand a little, and there you have it. Gambling won't be a problem either. He just likes to think of gambling games as risky games with chance with money as a consequence. What great good this vacation will be for him. Terror grabs his cloak of 1,000 dragon skins, whipping it around his body. The cloak morphs into a fancy suit, complete with a red tie and a finger snapper flower tucked in his coat pocket. Flipping a coin and catching it in midair, Terror hasn't felt more fresh and spunky in his unnatural life. An hour later, at the Devil's Casino. The casino is bustling tonight. Lots of skeletons and ghouls from all around Inkwell are here tonight, playing all sorts of games together. King Dice, the casino's manager, has his eyes on one particular poker table. There is a strange person there, and judging by those stacks of chips, he is really, really good at a game of part skill, part luck.
This might end up like that event with Cuphead and Mugman.
King Dice thinks to himself.
But I'll tell the boss about him anyway.
The die-headed man quickly heads into the devil's office, where the demon is counting dollars.
661, 662, 663. What is it now, King Dice?
The devil grumbles. This was the third time today, so this better be worth it.
There's a shady-looking fella out there playing poker, boss.
King Dice explains.
He's doing better than anyone I've ever seen.
The devil gives King Dice a look.
Is this going to end up like those two blasted mugs?
The devil asks irritably.
Because I am not breaking my horn again. It just grew back.
King Dice sighs quietly.
You know, you don't have to take everyone's soul.
King Dice remarks.
Besides, this fella seems like your kind of guy. What does he have on his suit jacket?
Devil asks. He knows a few people from other places, and they always have some sort of symbol with them, so they stand out.
Well,
King Dice says.
I think I remember seeing a strange-looking diamond on his tie, and he has also got this strange flower in his jacket with teeth.
The devil's ears perk up.
I know that guy!
He exclaims. Sir, exclaims.
I've got to get out of there before he leaves.
The devil drops his stack of cash on the table and hastily starts to head out the door.
Who is it?
The King Dice asks quickly.
Why, it is Terror! The Terror!
Devil replies as he opens the door.
And I'm going to greet him.
The devil dashes out the door and into the casino. He slows down to a casual walk, for he is very good at hiding his excitement, and looks around the poker tables. Sure enough, he finds the one who sticks out from the rest, none other than Terror in his dragon skin suit. King Dice follows up behind the devil, panting from all the running.
Don't ruin this for me, King Dice.
The devil whispers harshly.
Or else I'll ruin you. Got it, boss.
King Dice whispers back. At the poker table, Terror is about ready to end when the game is over. It's been fun, and he has sure let off a lot of that pent-up stress. He bids the group of ghouls farewell and heads out and gets up out of his seat, taking his new riches with him. Suddenly, Terror runs smack into the person he was going to look for, the devil. "Devil!" Terror exclaims happily. "How long has it been since I've seen you?" Terror gives the devil a hearty hug, and the devil laughs.
It's been too long, my good fiend.
The devil says cheerfully.
What has been keeping you?
Terror scratches his head, his nervousness getting to him again. The heroes I am fighting against have had a sudden halt in their activity, Terror explains. I can only assume that they are preparing something or something worse. It's been making me a nervous wreck. I came here to let all the steam off. The devil smiles.
Then you've come to the right place, Terror.
The devil says reassuringly.
I'm sure I can help you with this unbridled stress you speak of. Come to the smoking room, and we can talk of all the things we missed out with each other.
Terror nods, but notices someone behind the devil, a man with the head of a die and is fiddling with a pair of pink dice? Who is this behind you? Terror asks. King Dice puts his dice away in a hurry.
This? That is my casino manager, King Dice.
The devil explains. King Dice walks up to Terror and shakes his hand.
I've heard a lot about you. It is a pleasure to have you here, Terror.
King Dice greets the demon hog.
Follow me,
The devil says.
There's so much I have to tell you.
Chapter 2. Best Fiends. The two demons come to the smoking room, taking a seat at a banquet bench. The devil takes out a cigar and offers one to Terror. Ah, thanks, but no thanks, Terror refuses politely. I already have a pipe of my own. With that, he pulls out his personal pipe and lights it, also lighting the devil's cigar while he's at it. So, what's been happening with you? Terror asks as he blows a few smoke rings.
Lots!
The devil replies, puffing out smoke.
About a year ago, I got beaten the living stuffing out of me by two porcelain mugs named Cuphead and Mugman. They burned up all my soul contracts, too!
The devil sniffs sadly, remembering what had happened that fateful day.
All that work to waste,
he mutters. It's all right, devil, Terror comforts him, patting him on the shoulder. I have failed and flopped more times than anyone could count. I feel your pain.
Yeah, at least I don't have to deal with them anymore,
the devil says.
But I swear, if they come back for another round at the craps table...
He balls his hand up into a tight fist and slams it on the table, sounding a thunderous boom.
I'll pummel those little brats into the ground, 6 feet under.
Terror laughs to himself. That's the enthusiasm of a true villain, he exclaims. Never forgive and never forget. Down here, buddy.
Exactly.
The devil says.
That's why I made these.
The devil whistles, and a small purple demon runs up to the table with a platter. On the platter are replicas of Cuphead and Mugman's heads, both with hollowed eyes. Terror laughs villainously as he takes Mugman's head into his hands. The devil takes Cuphead's head, and the demon scurries away in a hurry. This is marvelous, devil! Terror exclaims excitedly. The devil raises the cup in the air up to Terror.
Here's to infamy, tyranny, and villainy,
the devil proclaims cheerfully. Terror raises his cup as well. Cheers, fiend! Meanwhile... Swampwater is in his office. A great deal of centipedes crowded about his computer screen. When Terror is gone, there's not much for the bugs to do rather than walk around in the halls, but some of them come to Swampwater's elevated office to see what he's doing. Currently, Swampwater is flipping around in Cuphead datasheets, going from a candy baroness to a flower who has nice jazz hands. Swampwater then checks out the hero activity page, finding it is on critical. They are on the move, heading straight for Inkwell. Swampwater panics. He can't contact Terror because he's on vacation, and, out of respect, Swampwater doesn't want to ruin it for him. Only proving Terror's anxiety right, he turns to the shocked centipedes behind him. Come on, you guys, he says. I'm not letting those heroes ruin the boss's day. He gets up out of his swivel chair, picking up a few red orbs and putting them in a satchel that he slung over his shoulder. He motions the centipedes to follow him, and he throws down one of the red orbs, spawning a portal leading into Inkwell. Swampwater and his troops move out, Swampwater himself with a determined look on his face. No one ruins Terror's day on his watch, not if he can help it. Thankfully, the portals spawn them outside the entrance to Inkwell Hell. The centipedes hide in surrounding bushes and trees, and Swampwater does the same. Thankfully, his species is made for blending into the shadows. Swampwater snickers to himself. I could be my own villain if I really wanted to, he thinks to himself. He takes a quick look at his tracker. They're close. Soon the silhouettes show themselves, the foxhog Millie and her demon hog brother Horror. The centipedes jump out of their hiding places, quickly surrounding the two heroes. When Swampwater reveals himself and sees them, he gets a shiver up his spine. Big mistake. The two are dressed very properly. Millie in a light blue dress, and Horror in the darkest suit Swampwater has ever seen. There's even an Iron Bell flower in his coat. And there's even a Iron Bell flower in his coat pocket. Jeez. Horror looks very annoyed as Millie squeezes his hand tight.
Not a good time. What is it, Swampwater?
Horror says irritably. I thought you guys were going to ambush Terror, Swampwater tries to explain. I didn't want you two to ruin his vacation, so I jumped in to stop you. It's all right, Millie says reassuringly. Horror promised not to continue the chase for the rest of the week. Right, Horror?
Yes.
Horror grumbles. Well then, Swampwater says as the centipedes back away. We'll leave you alone then. If you do see him in there by chance, just don't ruin his day, okay? Make it better if you can. Millie nods cheerfully. You got it, Swampers. As the two heroes pass by him, the centipedes look from Swampwater to the casino with pleading eyes. Not yet, you buggers, Swampwater snaps firmly. The heroes are enough for the boss to handle. Let's get a move on and get out of here. Swampwater throws down another orb, and everyone walks back into the stronghold, the portal closing behind them. When back inside, Swampwater notices a few of the centipedes moping around, throwing a silent fit. When he gets a good look at all of them, he realizes that all of the centipedes are moping around. Suck it up, buttercups, he shouts at them irritably. I don't care if you like playing poker or not, you're not going in that casino yet. Chapter 3, Age-Old Rivalry. Terror and the devil walk out of the smoking room, both fiends with villainous smiles on their faces, laughing to themselves. They had conversed several different fighting tactics, which led to talking sourly about their rivals and eventually led to what they would do to those heroes if they won, ending up in some ridiculous answers and actions. Ah, devil, it is no wonder how we get along, Terror says happily through laughing.
I can agree,
The devil says in return. He sighs happily as he looks about his casino, still bustling with activity. Not any other sight in the world could make him happier. Terror puts a gloved hand on the devil's furry shoulder. Although we may not have won anything against them, I think we can still consider ourselves the best, Terror says to the devil with a smile.
Indeed.
The devil starts to say, but he sees some unfamiliar people sitting at a poker table. They look very close to how Terror described his rivals. Could it be?
Terror, I hate to point this out, but,
The devil mutters as he points to the strange people. Terror's ear twitches, and his muscles stiffen, every hair and spike standing on end. Terror dashes back into the smoking room, and the devil follows. Terror has his hands on his head in panic. They found me! They found me! Terror says in a frenzy. I knew they were up to something!
Get a hold of yourself, Terror!
The devil shouts at him.
Do you see them looking at you? They don't even know you're here. See for yourself.
The devil turns Terror's head in the direction of the heroes. He's right. They're just sitting there, playing poker with each other. Immediately, a devilish grin slowly spreads across his face, Terror's eyes turning from the fearful orange to a devilish bright red, with a hint of blue. The devil smirks.
Oh boy, what idea could he possibly come up with now?
The devil thinks to himself. Say, Terror says slyly, why don't we go join them? The devil smiles wickedly. He knows exactly what he's talking about. They walk over to the poker table, and Millie flinches upon his approach. Horror quietly growls to himself when their gazes meet. Well, hello there, heroes, Terror greets them confidently. What a surprise to see you here, the Devil's Casino of all places. Couldn't you have gone to Mobius's Casino Night Zone? It was his idea, Millie says quickly, pointing at her clearly annoyed brother.
I know all of Robotnik's tricks and gags there.
Horror rebuttals.
I decided to see what the devil has to offer.
You're still up.
I think you'll find my tricks hard to memorize, Demon Hog.
The devil says confidently.
I've got more than anyone could count.
Terror takes a seat at the opposite end of the table with the devil, who has pulled up his own chair that looks similar to the throne in his office. Terror rolls his eyes, smiling. Always gotta have that specialness, huh, devil? Terror thinks sarcastically. I couldn't help but notice you two were playing poker, Terror remarks as Horror puts his personal deck away into its box. Care for a game, perhaps?
A good old showdown between villains and heroes?
The devil adds. Horror looks at the two grinning villains. It was clear that he didn't have a choice, that he was going to play whether he liked it or not. Teaching Millie how to play would have to wait.
I accept your challenge, villains.
Horror answers them.
What are the stakes? The stakes?
The devil asks excitedly. This was always the most exciting part of the deal. Terra says, thinking. How about if you win? I have to lay off of my villainy for a week. And if I win, he says cunningly, I get to torture you as I please for a whole day. Millie looks at her brother fearfully as the two villains burst out laughing. Horror holds a serious look on his face, not fazed by the devastating deal. This whole thing was decided by chance and luck, the most valuable thing in a casino.
I'm all in.
Horror says with a dark confidence. Terror smiles villainously. Then let the games begin, Terror utters darkly.
Allow me,
The devil says as he pulls out a deck of cards. He deals out the cards to Terror, Horror, and himself so that everyone has 2 cards. Terror snickers. His luck with cards almost never fails him. A queen and king of hearts. Horror looks at his cards. An 8 of clubs and a 7 of spades. Lastly, the devil smirks at his cards. He's got the ace of spades and a king of spades. Oh, crap. I'm recording!
Can you come up and sign Jason's birthday card?
Oh,
You like way in the
yes.
no stopping.
No, stop it. I'm sorry.
When will you be done?
Can you bring it down? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Sorry for the interruption, everyone. Alright. I'm going to read that last sentence again.
Okay.
Lastly, the devil smirks at his cards. He's got the ace of spades and a king of spades. Good thing he has the whole deck memorized. Terror goes first. I think I'll call for now, Terror says, putting out 2 red 5 chips.
Call.
The devil says, also putting out 2 red chips. Horror looks at the 2 partners in evil. Coincidence, or are they mentally planning something?
How about a raise?
Horror says, putting in 2 blue 10 chips. Terror looks at Horror with an unimpressed grin.
Round 2.
The devil announces, dealing 3 cards face up on the table. It's a queen of spades, ace of hearts, and a 10 of spades. Horror sighs quietly. This isn't good. Terror notices Horror's slightly hopeless expression and Millie's worried face as she looks at her brother's cards. Maybe you shouldn't have raised, huh, Horror? Gosh, Terror says mockingly. Horror growls to himself. Terror has gotten really full of himself ever since he was with that devil, or so he thinks. Let's see if you can keep up with this, Terror says, putting in 3 green 25 chips.
All right, then.
Horror says, accepting Terror's challenge and putting in 3 green chips himself.
What the heck? I'll do that too.
The devil says, also putting in 3 green chips.
That signifies round 3.
The devil deals 1 more card onto the table, a jack of spades. Horror bites his lip. This is definitely not good. Terror isn't having much luck either. What is up with all these spades popping out of this deck? He thinks to himself in outrage.
Here, let's put this out for you.
The devil says, putting out a blue chip.
This match is getting red hot. Call.
Horror says bluntly, reluctantly putting out a blue chip. Terror does the same afterward.
And now, the final round.
The devil announces as he puts down yet another card. It's time. Goodness, this time it's a 4 of hearts. Terror sighs with a huff. Check, he says irritably. Horror looks at him, surprised. Is Terror going to lose and have to give up for a whole week? He silently slips a blue chip on the table, still surprised with Terror. The devil shrugs.
Guess I'll check too.
He says casually.
Showtime, gentlemen. Please, Terror, you go first.
Terror slaps his cards face up on the table. The Queen and King of Hearts are useless in this circumstance, for there are only 2 other heart cards, making his potentially impressive hand into a lowly one pair. Terror crosses his arms and growls in controlled rage. "'Twas my villain's luck. I never win at anything." Terror thinks to himself, almost mumbling the words.
Horror?
The devil says.
Your hand? Terrible.
Horror says hopelessly, throwing down his hand. Terror notices and perks up. "Ha!" Terror shouts excitedly. "One pair beats high card!"
Nah,
The devil taunts.
I haven't shown my hand yet.
The devil moves the cards magically on the table, the cards from his hand pairing up with the others to make the almighty royal flush. The two demon hogs gawk at the unbelievable hand as the devil laughs in villainous victory.
You never said what happens when I win, did ya?
The devil says in triumph. What do you want?" Terror grumbles. He already knows where this is going.
Those chips on the table there represent 305 coin.
The devil explains.
And I want you both to pay me that exact amount. In Shadowlorian currency.
Millie gasps. "Shadowlorian coins are priceless. Being made of Darnanonium, they are really expensive in foreign land," she states in surprise.
Exactly.
The devil says confidently.
And I know that both of you hogs can make money from your fingertips. So pay up.
The devil holds out his hand expectantly. Terror and Horror both reluctantly drop 3 shrills and 5 ore pieces, meaning the devil now has 610 ore from the both of them.
Thank you for your kind donation, demon hogs.
The devil says mockingly. "Yeah, right," Terror grumbles. "To think that even I don't know better than to deal with the devil."
I believe we should be going now.
Horror says, taking Millie by the hand as they leave their seats. He extends his hand out to Terror for a handshake.
Well played, grandfather.
Horror says friendlily. Terror smiles and shakes Horror's hand. The heroes wave for goodbye and walk out of the casino. Chapter 4. All trips must end.
Hold on a minute.
The devil says, confused.
You are related to that guy?
"Why, yes. Both of them are actually my grandchildren," Terror answers. "Although I'd rather not talk about it."
Ah, got it.
The devil says, going straight back to counting the coins. Terror looks upon the distracted devil loathingly. There had to be a way to get him back for beating him in that poker game. Suddenly, an idea pops into his mind, and decides to put it to action. Immediately. You know, devil, if you can beat me in a game of poker," Terror says, tapping his head, "I bet you could beat my henchman, too." An earwig crawls out of his ear and gives Terror a handheld communicator. You're up.
Oh, I already said it. I'll say it again, though.
Yeah, I think it cut out.
Darn cut out. Wait, what?
The devil says, confused, because he wasn't paying attention. Terror turns on the communicator with a devilish grin. "Swamp water?" he mutters into the device. "Get those centipedes in here." "You got it, boss!" An enthusiastic Swampwater replies from the device. Suddenly, a crowd of centipedes bursts through the doors, and the devil jumps in surprise. The bugs take their seats.
Oh, no, not again.
The devil screams.
The last time this happened, I lost so much money to these thugs.
Terror laughs. He has won his own victory. "That's the point, devil," Terror says triumphantly. "You win some, you lose a few hundred." The devil groans and looks at all the centipedes on the poker table. They're all staring back at him with cunning eyes.
It's gonna be a long night,
the devil mutters irritably. And thus it began, the thing every casino owner would have to fear, Terror's Centipede Poker Gauntlet. Game after game, the devil's stash starts to run dry. The centipedes kept on winning, their filthy tricks winning them some of that grand thing that is money. At the end of the night, the centipedes crawl away laughing, all of them with some of the devil's money in their pockets. The devil is at the point where he could throw a fit, and Terror can tell. As soon as the last centipede leaves, the devil bursts into crimson tears.
It's not fair!
The devil whines.
I only won one game against you, and your centipedes won more than I can count.
Terror chuckles and pats the devil on the back. You won a valuable prize, though, devil, Terror reasons. The money you just lost to my henchmen is exactly how much money those Shadowlorian coins are worth, and more. The devil calms down a little bit, wiping the tears away.
Really?
He stammers. Terror nods his head with a friendly grin. I must admit, that was a little overboard, Terror says.
Well,
The devil says.
I guess you ought to be going now.
Terror lets out a big sigh of sadness. I guess you're right, Terror says sorrowfully. I had a good time playing and talking with you, fiend. Terror extends his hand to the devil in friendship, and the devil happily shakes it.
I look forward to coming here again sometime.
The devil says cheerfully. Terror waves a goodbye and heads home to the stronghold, a piercing cold welcoming him after being in such a hot place. The dragon skin suit morphs back into a cloak, but he doesn't take it off yet. Swampwater is there to greet him at the door with his laptop tucked under his stubby arm. Welcome home, boss, Swampwater greets him, walking down the hallway with Terror. How's the devil? Fine, just fine, Terror replies. I don't know when, but I'd like to go back there sometime. Yeah, Swampwater agrees. It sure looked like a lot of fun. He sighs wistfully, wishing he could go with his boss on a trip someday. Terror notices and smirks. You know, I bet there's a suit out there that fits you, Terror says encouragingly. Swampwater looks up at Terror with sparkling eyes. You mean it? He says in surprise. Oh, Terror, you are the best boss anyone could ask for. Out of sheer excitement, Swampwater gives Terror a hug, stopping the villain in his tracks. He sighs happily and pets the top of Swampwater's head. The feeling is mutual, my friend, Terror utters. Meanwhile, back in the Devil's Casino, the devil starts to walk back to his office, but has trouble thanks to the mess the centipedes left behind.
Ugh.
The devil grumbles.
Where's that little glass head when I need him?
As if hearing the devil's words, a small person with a wine glass as a head walks into view, but stops in surprise as soon as he sees the devil and the mess on the floor.
Cider!
The devil shouts.
It's closing time. Clean up the mess, will ya?
All right, Cider Glass says as a broom appears in his yellow-gloved hand. And for now, this is the end.
Gotta sweep, sweep, sweep!
Yay! If you guys want to see more of me and Ender, then I guess we might do it again sometime.
Underwear linguini nitmer.
And also, this story will be put up onto the website by tomorrow, at least.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the story, Mr. Ender?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was kind of a slapstick project, so...
All in all, it was
Yeah.
pretty good. Better
Yeah.
grammar than I can use in my stuff.
Oh, your stuff is good, too.
Are
But-
you sure of that?
Anyway, if you like the voice acting that Mr. Ender does, then you should go and check him out, because he puts his great voice acting to a good use, I think.
Bird talk, boy.
Yeah, go post a question down there. However, if you want to see more of my writing or any more of the characters that have been featured here, then stay tuned for more. I will definitely be doing more with Cuphead and having Terror being a part of it, whether he likes it or not. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Gotta go fast. Bye!